I want to share with you some Bureau of Labor Statistics information on reasons that employees quit their jobs. And there are 12 very specific reasons that are the predominant ones. And this information, again, was taken from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Try to say that 3 times fast. I am Greg with the Job Tips and Straight Talk channel. Thank you for checking us out. So you may be an employee where some of this has applied to you as far as why you have left your job, why you've quit. And you may also be an employer who's wondering, why are my people quitting? And what can I do to keep people longer? It's not all just about the paycheck. Indeed, in fact, many years ago, surveys were done across several different disciplines of career and found that the actual salary paid was among the lowest items that people found that people considered reasons to stay. It wasn't so much the pay. It needed, obviously, to be a pay rate that people could work for, with which they could pay their bills and build a career and so on. But that was not the main reason. So now we're not going to talk about why people stay, but why people leave. Now, you could infer from this that once I've shared this information with you, that the inverse is true. If you do some of the opposite of what I'm going to talk about here, you will find that your turnover rate will be far less maybe than it is right now, because according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, it says that in 2019, the most recent year for which this data is available as of this recording, the annual overall turnover rate in the United States is 26.9%, 27%. I take it back. That was in 19. 2021, the most recent year this was available, the turnover rate rose to 57.3%. 57.3% of people changing jobs. Now, across what time period, there are many more details in this statistical report than what this will allow me to go into, but more than doubled. Some of that may be pandemic related. I don't doubt that. But just the same, people are not staying as long as they used to years ago. So these are not necessarily in this order, but these are the 12 reasons. 1, being overworked and burnt out. So you need to ask yourself, are you just grinding your people into the ground with what you expect of them, not giving them a break? I'm talking about the legal breaks, but just not giving them a pause to breathe. Like, okay, he's always just on me, to get more done. Take work home. Work over my weekends. Work during my holidays and vacations. That's very, very common in the U.S. So that's number 1. Number 2, lack of opportunities for career advancement. Well, goodness, give your people the opportunity to seek some other sort of opportunity within the organization, whether it's growth as far as promotional or lateral opportunities. Lateral opportunities, just across the same pay structure and rank, if you will, are good. It allows a person to cross-train, become more skilled in another aspect of the company. Number 3, they quit because they don't feel appreciated. When's the last time you walked up to an employee, just one-on-one, and say, and shake the person's hand and say, I just wanted you to know I appreciate what you do for this business, for this company. I so appreciate you. You are important to me. Very few employers, not as many employers do that as there perhaps should. Just knowing that, just hearing that from someone, that they appreciate what you do. So recognize the employees' efforts, their accomplishments along the way as well. Not just appreciation, but gosh, you did a great job. You've maybe a person that had an attendance issue. Your attendance has really improved. I've noticed it. I so much appreciate that. Your work quality is maybe second to none, or it's super good, or it's greatly improved. All these sorts of things, share that with them. They need to know. Number 4 reason that people, again, not in this order, but among the 12 reasons that they quit, and is no clear direction or goals, or changing direction too frequently. So your employees need to have a sense of what's expected of them and be consistent with it. This also talks about, the goals shifting and changing too rapidly. The human mind needs to have a sense, or wants to have, I think, a sense of continuity, a sense of calm, a sense of steady, a sense of knowing what's going on, what's expected. And so give them clear direction. You can't just say, here's years and years ago, I worked for a large company that had outside sales representatives, and they were afforded a company car, expense account, all the goodies. And we'd have people come into the company, and some of the regional directors would say, okay, here's your set of keys, go sell, with very little direction outside of, okay, this is the product, go. Here's your list of accounts that we sell to, that we rep for, that we represent and we support. Go have at it, without some really good, clear direction. Sales goals are one thing, but how about a way to get there? The direction, right? And even if it's just, we'll say, manufacturing or shop floor work, or just typical hourly kind of work, give employees a sense of direction. They're not just out there swimming, floundering around in the water without some guidance. Okay. Lack of engagement. This report says employee engagement is not only strongly related to employee productivity, with productivity increases, with the productivity of which increases as employee engagement also does, but it's also linked to employee turnover, lack of engagement. A Gallup study that surveyed 34 million workers around the world found that highly engaged employees were 59% less likely to look for new careers or jobs in the next year compared to their less engaged counterparts. That speaks to an extent to a lot of especially remote workers, but also workers that just, in the business physically, if they're not engaged with others, engaged with the interests of the process, engaged in conversations within the organization, part of the team, versus just going and just doing the mundane robotic kind of work. Okay, so that's really important. Number 6, low pay. Now again, this is not the top reason, but low pay is among the reasons that people do quit. So think about that. Are you paying your people not just market rate, but are you paying them more than market rate if your profitability structure allows? And I realize you can't always do that. Some businesses are so squeezed for profits they can't afford to pay their people any more than what they pay them right now. And what they pay them right now may be the minimum that they can barely get people in the door for. I understand that. Then there are lots of other fixes that can be made to the company cost structure in a whole different conversation. But low pay is among the reasons. I have had this practice in my business for the longest time, for about 10, 11 years now. I'd rather pay the people as much as I can afford to pay them while still hitting our profit targets. But I don't have to have this profit targets way up here, way beyond perhaps what even industry standard is. If I'm healthy down here with my profitability, to help me weather the bumps in the road within my business, I'll pay my people more. Don't lose an employee over $2 or $3 an hour if you can help it. And don't just pay them what the industry standard is. That's pretty common. That's a guide, yes. Pay them as much as you can afford to pay them, as long as they're providing really good quality work, or give them incentives to do even better quality work. Make it a pay structure that they would desperately not want to leave, because they get paid so well for what they do. They're appreciated, they're engaged, all these other kinds of things. But low pay is one of the reasons. Also, number 7 of the 12 reasons people quit their jobs is inflexible office models. Now, this wasn't the case, decades ago, but times have changed. People have changed. This report says that more than 50%, one half, of employees now desire to work more flexibly, meaning they want both flexible office hours and remote work opportunities. 70% of millennials have thought about leaving their jobs in pursuit of more flexible hybrid work office opportunities. Now, an old schooler like me would say, suck it up, buttercup, so you're at the office 40 hours a week. But people are wanting things differently. People are different today. I would say work ethic, but the work practice, the work mindset has changed. It's the reality in which we live today. And we have to, as employers, be willing to adjust to the extent that we can to allow some flexibility of our workers where it makes sense. Number 8 among the 12 reasons people quit, the 12 main reasons, is broken promises. How many times have you heard of this happening where someone comes into the company at a promised pay rate, a promised sort of set of working conditions, they get there, shortly after they get there, things have changed. Well, it's different. But now they're there. They've already quit their old job. They're with you. You think you've got them. Not you. Let's just pretend you're that evil employer that's doing this. Now you think you've got them. Well, maybe you do for a short time. They will leave. Or even at any point in time, you promise a bonus based on certain productivity or goals being met. And then you renege on the bonus because they performed too well. Or maybe you had a certain number of, let's say, paid holidays. Maybe you have the 6 standard holidays, which in the U.S. is New Year's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Labor Day, Memorial Day, and there's one other there are 6 common holidays. Maybe you threw in there a few more, Veterans Day, whatever else. And then you change that you broke that promise. Well, this one really isn't a paid holiday, it's just time off. Broken promises, that'll completely destroy the trust between you and the employee. Another reason among the 12, number 9, that people quit, bad bosses. Well, that kind of goes without saying. If the boss is a tyrant or is incompetent or doesn't set clear expectations but then rails on the employee or for whatever reason is just a bad dude to work for, people are going to leave. Makes sense. Number 10, poor relationships with coworkers. You as an employer may have can develop ways of engaging employees together to build relationships within the organization, have them working together and teaming up and doing certain things. But also there may just be chemistry issues between employees. They can't get along and bad relationships. So, it's impossible, probably I would say impossible, for employers to have everybody within the organization, all the coworkers that work together, perfect matches because we're all different. But to the extent that you can match up good matches, I suppose, people working together trying to do that. Number 11 out of 12 is micromanagement. Now, micromanagement is not bad in some ways, in the sense that there are certain jobs that are just process jobs. This must be done, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this, for this to occur. Manufacturing is among those. Aircraft maintenance is another, and there are a lot of others. That's different. And checking up on the employee, making sure the job is being done correctly to the extent that you're saving people's lives. Okay. Or other mission critical things that will be really, really bad if the employee missed one step. That's different. Generally speaking, though, if your people know what to do and they're doing a good job and they have some flexibility, lording over them and watching over their shoulder every single moment of the day or every step of activity that they take on the job, that micromanagement is just horrible in terms of the mind of the employee, and they just get tired of it. Like, really, you're kidding. You're paying me this amount of whatever this amount of money is. You're paying me X amount of money to do my job. Just leave me alone. Let me do my job. Now, if they're not qualified or they need training or they just have required supervision because of some other issue, that's different until things get resolved. But generally speaking, micromanagement is one of the reasons among the top 12 that people leave. Another reason is toxic corporate culture. Okay, so a survey from the recruiting firm Hayes found, it's Hayes, in case you want to look them up, found that of the 2,000 job seekers interviewed, nearly half cited corporate culture as one of the primary reasons they were looking for a new job. Having a bad or worse toxic corporate culture is a surefire way to experience sky-high employee turnover rates. Poor corporate cultures are those that tend to foster interpersonal problems between employees, cutthroat competition, and dissatisfaction, in addition to a lack of camaraderie, free-flowing communication, psychological safety, and the recognition of positive accomplishments. Everything that goes along with a bad corporate culture makes employees feel unhappy while they're at work. This unhappiness can then spread to their time outside the office, diminishing their overall quality of life, and unhappy workers just don't stay at their jobs. Isn't that the truth? So, if you are an employer who sees yourself among these, being part of these 12 reasons that people leave, you now know what you can fix. These are the 12 main reasons that people quit their job. So, you want less turnover? You got some things you can fix, okay? If you see yourself in the categories I just gave. Well, hope this helps you a bit. I am Greg with the Job Tips and Straight Talk and some career advice. I should say small business advice channel. Thank you for checking this out. If this has given you value, please like, subscribe, share, do all those great things, and I will see you in the next video.